So a bunch of posters were put up around Los Angeles, particularly around the E3 Convention Center venue. They feature a picture of Anita Sarkeesian, who is the figurehead, the face of the Feminist Frequency organization, and they say Fem Freak, which is a pun, a play on the organization's Twitter handle, which is also Fem Freak, although with a different spelling. And in response, a bunch of people have been saying, you don't have to agree with Anita Sarkeesian to roundly condemn this, or this makes me feel sick, or this is a really horrible thing, I believe a Destructoid writer said. All in all, a lot of people I'm very surprised to see condemning this. I just have a question for them. Why do you want politics out of art? My criticism of it is that it's not done very well. It's not very funny, the meme they've chosen isn't a great fit. I suppose you could morally disagree with it on the grounds that it's vandalism, but I don't think it's really hurting anyone. Another huge failure of this piece of art is that it's supposed to demonstrate the strength of Gamergate is also its weakness, but they've fundamentally misunderstood what goes on. They seem to consider the mass anonymous action towards positive ends to be a strength, and then the ability to connect it to negative things to be a weakness. This is absolutely wrong. Gamergate is not a community, or at least it's not just a community. The community would exist without the tag. However, Gamergate is the rock that the press breaks its teeth on. Gamergate feeds on happenings. You've made a happening. I think the strongest what's colloquially known as Gamergate has ever been was during the period it was being blamed for all sorts of death threats and shooting threats. So your statement is actually trash and based on poor assumptions of what strength and weakness are. And just so you know, my position on Gamergate is that it does not exist as any one thing. If I was going to be forced to call it one thing, I would simply say Gamergate is a hashtag. But that's besides the point of this video. However much of a failure these posters may be, I absolutely do not condemn these posters. I don't know what rock these people have been living under, but public art of public figures has been a thing for a while now. In fact, I would say it's imperative that public figures are allowed to be publicly criticized, mocked, or even insulted. But they put a face on some posters that say freak. Whose face though? The woman who's been in the Time 100 list, the woman who's been on the Colbert Report, the woman who is the face of a non-profit, the woman who's been featured in the New York Times and countless other newspapers. She is a public figure, she is a celebrity, and she is absolutely fair game. Just because part of her image is not being a celebrity, just being a normal girl who wanted to criticize games, doesn't mean that's actually what she is. She is still in the public eye, she is still taking advantage of that and broadcasting information and judgments. You need to be able to respond. You can't be the mighty femfreak on Twitter with a large platform and an organization behind you when it's time to pass judgment on the world, and then a poor private person when other people try to do the same back. To be able to say whatever you want from a large platform, to have the news listen to you, to have an organization, and not allow anyone else to even publicly mock you, is far too much power for anyone. These posters are fine. But, as usual, that's just another one of my harmful opinions.